And welcome back, everybody. It's semi-final time, inching closer and closer to find out who is going to be the champion of the inaugural Seattle Snooker Open Championship here in Seattle, Washington. Our matchup here on the TV table is Varun Junja against Angus Liu. And I'm very pleased to bring into the booth with me for this match the one that has brought us all here, Mr. Mike Dominguez. He is the owner of Ox, the runner of this tournament, a player, and all-around good guy. So how you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little exhausted a little bit, but yeah. Let me take my mask off first.
Oh my God, it's not you.
Yeah, it's so good to be here. It's been a wild ride. Some of these matches have been quite amazing. Just refereeing Daniel's match versus Angus. Went to the hill. Both players are exciting to watch. I was running around them like a track meet, just trying to keep up with these guys.
Okay. Now, Mike, I need to correct you. I know you're an avid snooker fan, but it's deciders, not hills. There's no hills in snooker. There's only deciders.
My Q Sports nomenclature has gotten so jumbled. I'm calling cushions rails, doubles banks, bridges rests, and vice versa.
Fair enough. No worries there. But hey, you're doing an excellent job here. I was there for when we brought out bays, and unfortunately it didn't see the die, but maybe this is a happy accident. But you've turned around and you made a great room in here, and everyone's really enjoying their time here. You've been talking to some of the fellow Canadians. They're happy that they came down. So, good work.
Yeah, well, we love the Canadians up there. CCU took me up there. God, I forget. Was it 2016, 2017? One of the first tournaments you were running.
Think about 2017, yes.
Yeah, I'd recently fallen in love with snooker and was at CC's place, Empire Billiards, and trying to play snooker, trying to learn it, and trying not to make a complete fool of myself. And then he said, hey, why don't you go up to Canada and play in these regional tournaments? And I'm all over that because I think tournaments are a great way to test your mettle. You can't recreate this environment. You can't. It's rare to get a situation where your heartbeat races, your breath shortens. So yeah, I said, heck yeah, let's go up there. And we love the Canadians. They were all very friendly up there.
Great. And how do you feel the weekend has gone here for the first Seattle Open?
The energy is great. Players are very happy, very appreciative. I feel like the quality of play has been a wide range, but mostly on the good side. Everyone's trying their best. The attitudes are great. We're not having a bunch of whiners. We're not having anybody break sticks or cue sticks. And it's been a very fun event and very positive energy.
Yeah, definitely. I must admit, sometimes these tournaments can get raise the hair on the back of your neck from time to time, but you've got calm demeanor throughout the entire weekend. You haven't blown up or anything like that when players make strangest requests you've ever heard of. So,
yeah, there's only one request that'll make me blow up, and that's never happened this weekend. Yeah. Can I use the rail as a coaster?
Yes, I think a lot of these snooker players are aware of that. So a little in off there by Agnes. Agnes, I mean, not Agnes. Agnes.
That's my fault. Let me get rid of that extra N there. What? I got rid of the...
You got rid of all the N's. So I just mispronounced. So how's it felt, doing your first tournament?
Yeah, this is the first real big tournament in snooker that we've done. We've had a couple of smaller round robin into knockout round snooker tournaments here. The first one we did, we had to go 2 days. We were trying to fit too much into one day. And then the second one we did, we managed to fit in one day.
Definitely. You think of, most of the time you think of everything. You think you've got everything, but it isn't until when you're actually doing it that you're like, oh yeah, there's that and there's that. So.
Yeah, like scoring the point for Varun. There we go. These two players are shot makers. I think how many games has Varun been on the TV table today or this weekend?
I think he's been on once. Yeah,
okay.
and It's
been a long weekend.
Angus has been on once as well.
Yeah. So I think some of the people who've been watching all weekend understand the way that they play. And Varun's well known in this area. And Angus is not as well known, but just as good. It's going to be an interesting match for sure.
Well, definitely, yeah. Agnes. I'm stuttering over that.
Think of a nice juicy steak.
Now you got me hungry. Angus.
Angus, yes.
Thanks for the trigger. Was the semifinals up at the BC Open. So he definitely knows his way around. Yeah, he was actually up against CCU, who was the runner-up in the BC Open. So CCU will be in the other semifinal, just awaiting the conclusion of David Brock and Jay Lee's match.
Jay Ma,
yeah, that's correct. I was just looking for
I want to talk to the TD up there for the BC Open. Why do we get two Seattle players in the semifinals in the same match?
It's just how...
Are you trying to X out the Seattle players from both reaching into the finals? Come on, Dave.
Well, I knocked out a Canadian player, too.
That's true. No, of course. It's luck of the draw, but it was good to see CC in the final again. To see CC in the final again. Oh, another in-off. Unlucky.
What we tried to do, obviously, we tried to tell the players, remember, please keep a marking of your high breaks. You know, your players have done a wonderful job, but, you know, sometimes some players in Canada, they got a little lazy and didn't fill that out because with the round robin that we had, obviously, the top two would advance, but then for seeding purposes in the knockout phase, we were going to go to high breaks. So if you and I were undefeated in our round robins in different groups, but you had a break of 50 and I had a break of 40, you'd be the higher seed. So that was the idea. Unfortunately, a lot of people did not follow through with filling out their high breaks. So we just pretty much like, okay, challenge, you have a random way of putting it. We'll follow suit with you. So blame challenge, not the tournament director of the BC Open, why there's two players from Seattle in the semifinals.
We're just going to have to send more Seattle players up there.
True, and I'm hoping a lot of the Canadian players that came down this weekend are going to let our friends back up in the Vancouver area know how exceptional these tables are. So
there's nothing wrong with a good rivalry.
Definitely, I think there's the border battle we should resurrect, and as well there's a great player up in.
Oh my goodness!
This is just a lot of fouls here to start this semifinal. But there's a gentleman up in Vancouver, Vineet Desani, and he has a young boy, I think around the same age as Marissa. So we were talking on the stream, maybe that'll be another caveat to the border battle, that they can have a match against each other, and we'll see what happens.
Mandate a junior player per team.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. Marissa in those long pots, you got to look out.
She's fearless. She is. I'm sure she gets nervous. It doesn't show if she does, but she loves to play and practice, and she's doing so well. We're all very proud of her. I ran into her, or they came into the club about a week before Judd Trump was going to do his exhibition. I was talking to Chris, and I was And I was telling Chris, I was like, we need a junior player. And he didn't really know of any. I didn't really know of any that lived in the area to contact in less than a week. And it was really cool and serendipitous of E and Marissa coming in. They grabbed a table on the way back. I saw her cue action, and I heard the balls hit in the back of the pocket on these long 9-footers, or short 9-footers. And I asked E if I can watch her and E have a little rack together, and it was just unbelievable. Yeah, she was potting everything. I asked how old she was. She was 12, and so I said, before you leave, E, come and talk to me. Have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I don't want to ruin your time together. So when they were ready to go, he came up and he asked me what I wanted. What do you want? And I invited her to play Judd, 2 racks of 9-ball, and he was ecstatic. She was very excited. She watches a lot of snooker.
Mm-hmm.
So she knew who he was and won a rack off of him. So she got an extra rack of 9-ball because she won, and there needed to be a decider against her and Judd Trump. And really, in the whole room, she was the only one that kept her composure, didn't miscue, wasn't nervous, or had a big goofy grin being next to the great Judd Trump.
Yeah, so who you tipping in this one?
Oh, man.
Agnes or Varun?
Angus, he plays so well. He could hit you with multiple 20-plus breaks. He's a little streaky at times. This weekend, he's been a little streaky, but has been playing very well today. And Varun, on the other hand, makes big breaks. He makes shots that shouldn't go in, but they do. He's a shot maker. If I was to bet, I would put money on Angus.
Okay.
Not too much money.
Not too much.
Are you allowed to bet in snooker?
I think you are. Definitely when I was over in London for the Masters back in 2018, right there in the foyer, they had odds, and you could go up and
Bet Victor.
get a ticket. It wasn't any of the betting sites. It was just the in-house kind of thing. When I was there, we went over with a couple other guys from the Vancouver area, and there was a gentleman by the name of Darcy Weston, and he and I had a friendly $5 bet. Judd Trump and Kyron Wilson were in the semifinals.
Oh, wow.
And he took Judd, I took Kyron. Judd was up 5-2.
Yeah.
Kyron won 6-5.
Yeah, I remember that.
The funnest $5 I ever won.
Now, was it Canadian dollars, U.S. dollars, or pounds?
Canadian, yeah.
Canadian?
So that's
Okay.
probably, what, $300 American? So 14-1 for Varun right now, but still lots of points on the table there.
I got to catch up here. If the scoring's off, people in the chat, it is Dave's fault. No, it's Mike's fault.
Well, Mike's doing a job, a lot of jobs around here, and we finally got him into the booth. So, if you have any questions about tournament directing, we need more of those people. We need more referees, scorekeepers, commentators. Lots of great positions to be filled that can make our sport grow even more.
Yeah, we've gotten a ton of help from people here. Adam was a good ref. He was also a table helper, brushing tables for us and scoring, and we have a whole bunch of other helpers. Wayne was keeping score. Yeah, it's a good community we have here. They want to have this tournament be successful.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be a part of it. And so, yeah, it's really good to see.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Yep. I think, outside this pandemic, people are hungry for the snooker because you had a waiting list, correct?
For the membership?
For this tournament.
Oh, for this tournament. Yes, absolutely. I think we could have hit 32 easy,
Mm-hmm.
but it would have been a 3-day tournament,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
isn't a problem. It's not a big deal, but you just have to pick the right weekend.
Correct, yeah. And and I'm pretty sure, this is the first one that you've done. You've learned a lot. Now you can see kind of the behind the scenes, and it is nice that you have very appreciative players here that are just, happy to be playing. I don't want to rip too much on the Canadian players, but there's some that have been around for a while and sometimes think they know better. They probably might know better because they've been around a lot longer than I have, shall we say. But if you want it done a certain way, why don't you do it?
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's why we're here.
Mhm.
And this has been a really good experience to learn, like you say, because we're going to have the nationals here in September, and this is a great dress rehearsal for that event. We knew coming in that there were going to be some features to the nationals that we couldn't unveil.
Mm-hmm.
Just logistically, we couldn't do it here. But in September, we'll have some new bells and whistles.
Okay, good to hear. It's a good businessman right there, always kind of trying to improve, tweaking,
Never stop.
never satisfied, never stop.
Never stop. Stop when you're dead.
There you go, exactly. Yeah, these guys don't dilly-dally that much. They
No.
kind of go right at it. When they see the shot, they don't really fuss around. They get on.
Looks like we're entering a little safety battle here.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Angus feels he can hit this lower red in that bunch. Went for it. Is it safe? No.
Red might be, but he's left a red on, just
Yeah.
right by the black spot.
So this should be able to leave for the black here. Oh,
Call up Doc Brown. Where's the DeLorean? Varun wants to go back in time on that one. He maybe got ahead of himself just thinking about the black.
yeah, it was juicy. I mean, that was a nice leave, and then you had that. If he was feeling lucky, he can hit that red on the cushion after the black. Almost got it up behind the brown.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised over the weekend that there's a fair amount of players that know this game of snooker. Like, a lot wouldn't be maybe, okay, just put balls in the pocket and all that stuff. But some of them are quite aware that a snooker is just as valuable.
Yeah, defensive points are a thing. Here at our club, we don't have a price barrier between pool and snooker. In many places, snooker is more expensive. So without that price barrier, we get a lot of pool players interested in playing. It's actually, if there's no cost barrier, then they'll actually play. And snooker is a type of game where you can describe it to them in words, but it doesn't paint the entire picture until you play a few frames.
Mm-hmm.
And then they understand, oh my God, the strategy of it, the safety play it's a different kind of feeling. Nice pot.
Definitely. Good long pot there. Yeah, I wonder, maybe they just charge a little bit extra because snooker tables, they can definitely take up a lot of real estate.
Oh
So
my goodness. I think in the space that we have these 4 tables, we could probably fit in at least another 6 pool tables.
shame on you.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Not that I've mapped it out or anything.
Yeah. What are you planning to do? You just had the first Seattle Snooker Open, and now you're kind of just going to take these tables away?
So, is my score off or is the local score off?
Vern has 31, yes. There's our streaming producer actually right on the table doing some refereeing, Christian Youngers. That's where he wants to put the hand on the cushion. Doesn't want to put it on the bed of the cloth. Doesn't want to put elbows on there. Oh, what would Michaela Tapp say about that? Naughty, naughty.
She would say, do it again. Do it correctly this time.
True. How was that course? You know, I was jumping up and down, so I only popped in for a little bit, but you did take a refereeing course with the great Michaela Tabb from Scotland.
Yeah, it was very insightful. And the way that she presented the course, first we looked at the rules, we talked about it, and then we went to the table and she did some demonstrations. It was super useful to have that course in person. It's not something that you can really do online. I mean, I guess you could do like the nuts and bolts, just studying the rules, but until you get on the table and go over certain scenarios, it was very useful. And of course, she's extremely smart, experienced, and so any sort of question that people had, she was ready for an answer. And there were tons of questions. There's so many rules. It's just insane. See what the foul total was on that.
I think there was a couple fouls there. It's 39 to 2. But still, lots of points on the table here.
You know, Varun has been in several of our 9-ball tournaments as well, and I think he's won a few, been in the finals several times.
Yeah, don't forget to like that stream, share it with your friends, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. It's the semifinals. Finals are going to be coming up right after this, so...
Yeah, one of these two are going to be in it. I have my dollar on Angus. I won't go... Well, maybe I'll go $1.50, but nothing more.
True. How about a Canadian dollar?
A Canadian dollar, yes. I'm going to have to go to Canada to collect it. I really wanted to go to that BC Open. We had the very talented
Nice
Florian here. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Trick shot player for pool.
Okay.
And he got on the snooker table. He came in early. We played. He was just going to play a frame or two, and we ended up playing until we closed. So he loves snooker, and then during the exhibition, towards the end, he leaned over to me and said, "We're playing snooker after this, right?"
Yeah, once the sport sinks its claws into you, it won't let you go.
Yeah. No. I mean, look at this. From a 5-minute video of watching Ronnie O'Sullivan and asking what the heck is snooker to opening a snooker hall and then pool hall. Yeah, it's crazy. The sport will, once it gets you, it gets you.
Yeah, it took me into the booth here, so...
Yeah. That was so...
You know, stranger things have happened.
Yeah, yeah.
Dave Brock will be in the other semifinal against CCU as he's just defeated J-Ma in a decider. That'll probably be coming on table 2. So at some points when we have a break in the action over here on table 1, we'll check in to see how they're doing. But obviously David has just won his match, so stand by for the start of that match. It'll be a little bit later.
Congrats.
Not too much.
Yeah.
Yes, congrats. He came all the way from England, David did.
Yeah, and he's in the semifinals. We need to make sure that the British invasion doesn't happen again, and send him home packing.
Oh, they're going to get the Can-Am invasion when we're over in Sheffield, so look out. I'm not sure if you're bringing anything special, but these guys are going to know what maple syrup's all about.
I'll bring some chorizo. How about that? No, David's a really friendly guy. I like talking to him. I love his beard. But he's going to have a handful with CC.
Sorry, there, our good friend and great help out the whole weekend, Dave Daly, is going for a little coffee run. So we got this in the semifinal, so we might need a little pep to keep us going. It's always a challenge with these amateur tournaments, is because we're all doing it for the love, and a lot of us have jobs and stuff like that, so we're working Monday to Friday most of the time. But I think more and more people, as I'm seeing, because I did some in the beginning, and they ran quite late on the weekend, and was finding that this isn't healthy. I need to do 2 days, or even for a BC Open or a bigger tournament. Well, let's break into Friday a little bit, and hopefully people's employer can be like, it's only Friday, it's 1 day.
Yeah, it's not like they're working anyway. It's Friday.
That's true.
Getting in late, long lunch, leaving a little early.
Mm-hmm.
And now that you can work remotely.
True, that is possible. I might be doing this actually remotely when we have the World Cup Team Championship in Brampton come May 20th, 21st. I think Patrick, the head of Snooker Canada, is going to have it streamed and commentated, but they are working on an operation.
Is that it?
Wow. Varun. I think David Brock's just looking at me and just kind of motioning. He's doing his great Fred Willard impersonation of what happens. He couldn't believe that he's moved into the semifinal. Sorry, Mike just has to do a little maintenance, A tournament director's job is never complete. Don't worry, Mike, if you want to step aside and do your tournament duties, no problem over there. You're always welcome back here, so if you need to get something going.
Yeah. Let me get Varuna's point there.
I think you
and I'll be right back.
Sounds great. Yeah, I remember when Mike was getting this going, and he was going to be playing in the tournament, and I almost was scratching my head a little bit, worried. I'm like, oh, Mike, I don't know. So this past week leading up to it, he made the executive decision to be like, I got to pull out. And talking to him this weekend, he was quite appreciative that he did make the correct decision, as being a player and a tournament director is very tricky unless you have a good support staff. Personally, I know from experience up in Canada, is when you have a tournament going, you got a lot of people pulling you many different directions, and you got to keep the flow of the tournament going, or it just will backlog and you're going late into the evenings, almost into the early morning of the next day. So Mike just steps away, and it's probably going to set up our other semifinal to continue it going, because well, it's quite possible maybe around 7:30 we could be seeing the final happen. Ooh, Angus did have to do a little swerve, and that's fully aware of what's going to happen with the cue ball. Yeah, Vern has been playing really well all tournament long. Just really doesn't dilly-dally that much. The couple in offs. Jeez, that's gotta hurt. Just as I'm praising him, he proves me wrong. But yeah, I'll have to ask him after this match what is his secret to his success. I think he's got some powerful beverages that give him a little bit of pep. And yeah, it looks like a free ball here. So for all you people not too familiar with the sport, free ball is called, obviously, when you can't see both sides of the red ball. And that was close for sure, because he had it in the D, and then as well, and that counts as obviously his red, so that's 1 point. And as well, a nice little opportunity there, he took on the yellow, and when the yellow came up, unfortunately the white ball was on the yellow spot, and in that case it goes to the highest valued colored spot that's available, and that was the black. So that's why you see the black down here at the top end of the table. Yeah, these guys are quite exciting. They're really zipping the ball around. I think they were definitely here for the Trump exhibition, because they're really showing some banging up play, that's for sure. And Darren, I'll try and give you updates as best I can. Maybe during frame breaks, we'll jump over to table 2, just so we can take a look and see what's happening at the other semifinal. But it hasn't started yet, and we're still just in the first frame, the beginning stages of this semifinal. Very nicely done. Yeah, played his percentages there. Thought it almost might come back again for hitting that quite ferociously. So Angus will put him back. Yeah. Sometimes, I don't know, these guys, a lot of these players do come from the pool background. And that's a big costly foul running into the black there. So with these penalty points, Angus is crawling his way back in there. It's been a long weekend, getting a little tongue-tied from time to time. So, yeah, definitely. He's definitely getting down on that quite quickly, and unfortunately, he snookered Angus on that yellow, so you can put him back in. or he can call a free ball. So a little discussion here of if Angus can put him back. Little deliberation with the tournament instructor. As every tournament's just a little bit different. So we have Mike Dominguez, the tournament director, coming in just to make sure Angus is aware. While they're discussing this a little bit, we'd like to thank our food sponsors throughout the tournament, Omaki and Malai Satay Hut, providing scrumptious and delicious meals for our players. So that's definitely a nice bonus coming down to the Seattle Open. You get to play some snooker and you get a nice lunch. So with this rule down here, you can't put Varun back in there, so we'll have to take a look at that. But he can nominate a free ball since there is the snooker. But he can't roll up. Obviously the blue was there, but he can't roll up. So with all those penalty points, Angus is definitely back in this. But a nice snooker layer laid by Varun. So Angus was able to get out of that. Maybe we'll just get a ruling as Mike is making his way back into the broadcast booth just to see what all went down with that.
All right.
All right, Mike. So, yeah, just a little explanation for all the fans out there.
Yeah, so what we have now on the snooker foul and the miss rule for this tournament is that we only allow the person 3 attempts.
Mm-hmm.
So on the 3rd attempt, it needs to be a valid attempt. You need to actually try to hit it.
Mm-hmm.
And if that valid attempt ends up in an invalid snooker, normally in the professionals, they would say, play from there.
Yeah, you can still have your opponent play from there, sure.
Right. But what we want to avoid is starting a new sequence,
Mm-hmm.
a new 3 attempt sequence, because then that first 3 attempts turns into 6.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 3 attempts, and then the person that snookered the player
Mm-hmm.
can take a free ball
Mm-hmm.
or attempt to hit the ball that's on. So it's a slight variation of the 3 attempts, 2 putbacks.
That's a nice little, twist. Some people won't agree with it. Obviously, if you're on the opposite side of that judgment, you want to collect as many penalty points as possible. But obviously, with the amateur game, we're still in a stage, I think, that we're wanting to welcome a lot more players and not wanting them to get discouraged. So I think that's an accurate ruling. And, if you have it written down in the rules before the tournament, you've given them warning. If they didn't like it.
Those are actually rules for this tournament. Not saying that it's going to be the rule for the next few tournaments. So I want to make sure I didn't click the wrong thing. So before we even started this tournament, there was a player that had some concerns about this very rule. And this player just wanted to just make sure that their opinion was heard. And it was absolutely heard, and if there's any adjustments we need to do, we'll meet as a group and make those changes. I'm always about fine-tuning, trying to find better ways, make things more competitive and interesting, but at the same time, keep the integrity of the sport that we're trying to promote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a balancing act because you had 24 players here, and it'd be very tough to make everybody happy. Obviously, in the moment, sometimes they might not be too happy with the call, but the big thing is hopefully that they come back.
Yeah, and my whole goal is to not play favorites. That's the rule. We've decided on certain things, and when it comes time to finish our either league or finish the tournament, we'll take a look back on what we can change to improve it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but consistency is what we're trying to strive for.
It's interesting too because there's these incidents that happen during a tournament, and then as the tournament comes to an end, I sometimes give a little wrap up to all my players, just saying, hey, thanks again. This is what happened because not everybody's there to see what happened in the final.
Yeah.
Maybe let them know what's going on next on the scene. But also any comments or concerns, questions, and then all you hear is crickets.
Yeah, we're fortunate to not hear crickets. I'm being serious. I mean, we have such involved people, and we listen to everything. In fact, early next week, we're going to be talking about the ranking system for the Washington State Snooker League. There's areas for improvement there. We were very consistent the first season. The second season, I think we can improve it. We can also improve many other things. Almost ended off there. But, if you're not trying to improve, then you're just not moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting worse. Trying to stay the same, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's as much as a ruling at some point might not be in favor of a certain player, but I think I'm the same as you. I want to hear your point, and obviously at this point in time there was a ruling that was going this way, but I hear what you're saying. We'll discuss obviously with us, the people at Snooker Canada, and see if this is a worthwhile concern.
Yeah.
And if it is, then we'll implement hopefully what we see as the best, possibly even ask the player when they've at least had a little breath away for it, because in the heat of the moment, obviously they want what's best for them.
Yeah, you want to look at trends rather than putting out every fire you see. This looks interesting here. Looks like a pretty good snooker. That pink is in the way. It looks easy out, but with that pink there, he's got to be careful going after off the long rail. Oh, nice one.
Yeah, he just took a little bit more time there. That time when Varun got in that hook and had the three misses, he really was jumping down on the ball quite quickly, I felt. And I think he just needs to give it a little bit more time. I know a lot of you guys come from a pool background, so
I do, for sure.
Time maybe not on
I
your
had
side.
to slow down my game big time, my snooker game.
Do you start putting like molasses on the bottom of your shoes or something?
My heartbeat gets, I mean, when I'm in tournaments or league or anything like that, my heartbeat gets so racy, and it's hard to slow down for
Well,
me.
That was Varun's frame ball there. So Angus is going to need snooker. No way, is that not okay? These tables are slick. You never know what could go in, you know. We haven't had a quadruple yet, but we've had a few triples over the weekend, so just let that right over the pocket. Black's not in the world's worst position for a snooker. But Angus is just going to have to, be a little bit patient, wait for his opportunity.
Angus has really good cue ball control, so I understand why. If I was him, I'd keep playing for sure, trying to get that snooker.
Oh, there's only one needed. 19 points in it. You hook him, you got the 6-point foul, and then you get the 13 black ball respot. That would really deflate Varundi if, or Varun. Not Varundi. I'm thinking of Peter Zellers. My apologies.
I wonder if he's trying to get it off the rail a little bit. Get the black ball.
Would be
off the
nice
rail.
just to, a little bit of space. And, just so everyone's aware, our other semifinal is getting underway.
All right, he kicked it off the well. Now it's in the middle of the table. I think that's a little worse.
And it's going to kick off the cushion a little bit. That's, Varun's just want to just roll it gently into that corner pocket or just over it. Yes. Solid one frame up for Mr. Varun. Well played. As they get as Christian, our referee, tournament streaming producer, sets up the table. We'll take a little peek over at the White John over there at table 2. There's the men from the island over there in Europe. There's David on the left with the beard. Well, there's a David on the left with the beard that's English, David on the right with the beard that's Irish. And then there's CC at the table and just actually fluked in a red there, so puts his hand to apologize, but everyone having a good chuckle. Been meaning to ask these beardos, shall we call them, as we look at them. It's quite a shot over there, I think.
Beardo.
That should be your advertisement for Ox right now. But I wonder if they ever feel the cue catching on their beard. I don't know if you've had a beard at all, Mike, but I have a little goatee, and I've had that happen to me from time to time, that it's caught. And then a friend came up to me and was like, hey, try beard oil.
Beard oil.
Beard oil, and it's made a world of difference.
Whenever I've had a beard, it wasn't on purpose. It was just laziness.
Fair enough. It looks like you've grown a little stubble. Would that take you like 2 hours? That probably take me 2 years.
I did shave this morning, but again, it's the lazy electric shaver. It's not. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to look good. Who cares?
That's true. We're behind the camera.
This is a really nice setup that Christian did with the computer. I'm just playing around with the scoreboard and whatnot, but yeah, we took our time with this stream setup, and Christian did a lot of research on what components to buy and we knew where we wanted to put them, but then once we got them up, it was really cool to see the various angles that we can get. Like, we never thought that pool table number 1 camera can give us this view.
And the swing around cameras, and it's really quite fantastic. Yeah, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, that's the Varun and Larry Leach. That was from a previous match, so get a chance, we might just ignore that score down there. Oh, there it goes.
Gone.
Is there anything you can't do, Mike? Jeez, he gets rid of scores.
Probably can't bring it back up
Yeah.
because I don't know where the heck it went. I just grabbed it and threw it away.
True. As you said, you can't shave too, so.
Oh, what's going on? Okay, there we go. Oh, hey, now. Yeah, this is not very professional.
No, you might be giving some of our viewers a little seasickness with that screen jumping back and forth. So don't worry, we'll be headed back to our feature semifinal match just as Christian gets the table set up. But meanwhile, we have David Brock, the older of the beardos, I guess, as we might call them.
That was such a good angle for that middle pocket shot. Camera angle. Would have been nice to watch it go in. He was landed. Looks like he's landed nicely on the black if it did go in.
I know it might sound silly or might sound crazy, but you got any fake beards back there for CC?
I have a wooden bow tie. That's the closest thing I got. This is nice, though, being able to sit here and watch some snooker. I've been running around all weekend, so I can just kick back, just have a few more rounds to go before we decide who is the winner, taking home that beautiful trophy.
Yeah, there definitely is there's a nice feeling when you're on the final. As a tournament director, you're like, all that hard work has, finished off, and you can just kind of sit back and enjoy what brought you into the sport.
So the I don't know if it's been said, but the trophies were designed and sponsored by Empire Billiards. So this was truly a collaborative effort between the two clubs. And CC said that he wanted to get the trophies, and he did a great job picking them out. I wonder if he measured some space on his,
He's in the semifinal. I don't know about this.
It's like, I think it'll fit right here. I'm going to go ahead and take charge of buying the trophy.
Oh, we're back here in frame 2. Yeah, he's probably had something measured for the BC Open trophy, and unfortunately he couldn't bring that back from Canada. So now he's like, well, I got this space. What can I do? Oh, yeah, the Seattle Open's coming up. So I might as well talk to Mike and say, hey, I got
the trophy. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm. Now, is that going to be a trophy that goes to the winner, or is it kind of like they go and have it for a little bit, or...
This goes to the winner.
Goes to the winner. Okay.
They keep it.
Wow, because it is quite a stunning trophy.
Yeah, it'll be...
What
It's a
happens
heavy
next
trophy
year?
too. Yeah, it's
You're going to do the same? Put you on the spot there.
It's too early.
True.
Yeah.
So I'm just preparing you for the complaints that have happened. Like, what happened last year? It was so much
Last year,
bigger.
well,
Well, last year we were coming out of a pandemic. We weren't spending any money.
I want to talk about this trophy in the World Snooker Tour, the Nirvana Turkish Masters.
Mm-hmm.
That trophy is enormous. I don't know if anyone out there has taken a look at it, but when when it's on the table, and it was Trump and Selt,
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Selt, both in the finals, and standing on the table, when the trophy was on the table, it was just about as tall as either one of them. It was massive. Now that's a trophy. I mean, we need something like that, is what I'm saying. We need a life-size trophy.
Yeah, I'd have to say it was getting close to the Stanley Cup almost in size, or the size of Marissa. So, but that's the first tournament they've had in Turkey, so I'm pretty sure they want to make a big splash.
Heck yeah! I mean, yeah, I would too.
Well, you have done, with.
Yeah, and it was a really exciting tournament, and it not to play. Oh, that's so unfortunate right there. Not to be callous or anything, but I know that it was delayed because of COVID rampaging through Turkey, and so that was just a bummer that they did have to postpone that. But it ended up being a really nice tournament.
Yeah, I wonder what Saudi Arabia thinks about that, because they were supposed to have a massive tournament. £500,000 to the winner. To see what the trophy could be about that. So, Jesus, Turkey has set the precedent for the biggest trophy.
All you kids out there, learn snooker. Win one tournament, get $500,000.
Yep, that's all it takes.
Just one tournament, it's no big deal.
Well,
it's just a week long.
Especially for the Saudi Arabian one. Well, it's quite a grind for the World Championships, because that's 3 weeks. And the great Stephen Hendry has said, when you reach the semifinals at the Crucible in the World Championships, you're only halfway there. Because semifinals are best of 33.
That's so
the finals are best of 35. And, the first round's a best of 19. And I think you have a best of 21. And then a 25, so...
It's an endurance sport, absolutely. Mentally and physically, you have to be very strong. You have to ignore the fatigue. Now in pool, in local tournaments, when it goes long, there's something that they call chopping. Have you heard of chopping?
Chopping?
Chopping, like chop. So instead of playing the actual finals, if the tournament runs late, the 2 finalists decide to just chop the winning in the first and second prize, total it together, and cut it in half.
Okay.
And then they just walk home with a nice chunk of change. But don't play the finals for it.
Interesting. Well, I'm a fan of games that don't have numbers on their balls. So, no, pool and 9-ball, they're equally as good. But
absolutely.
Snooker's the pinnacle for me personally. I do remember once there was a snooker tournament that did run a little bit late. They were starting the final. Probably they were scheduled to start the final at like 12:30 at night, and it was like a best of 7. So you could just imagine that they're probably getting out of there maybe at 3:00 in the morning. So they talked to the players and they all agreed. A little off camera, flip the coin. And that's who they decided the winner. Now, this wasn't a big tournament with a lot of prestige, but still, maybe that's a different... It was a flipping instead of a chopping.
A flipping. Hey, what's up, Sam? How you doing? I think the score is correct now.
Yes, unless they're giving us the wrong score in the room. We're kind of... playing off what our scorekeeper is doing. That would have been, I think, Christian is refereeing and scorekeeping on the table. And Mike's doing a great job of providing commentary here and scorekeeping. It can be tough when you're doing both, right?
Sam, the guy who said the score is wrong, it was really cool to hear him. I listened to him a little bit last night after we got home. I was unable to hear it live, but we had some pretty good little guest commentators here, and Sam was one of them. It was pretty fun.
Yes, I think actually I was on my dinner break at that time, so Christian was in the booth with him.
Right.
So. Be a little safety battle here.
Oh no.
How did that find that
That's
gap
crazy.
there? But you can put him back, right? And that would be only the first foul and a miss. And then if he misses it a third
Yeah,
time with
this
the
is
warning.
It ended up pretty good for him, though.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't have missed it. Angus wouldn't have missed it the second time. But I think Varun just felt confident he could do something with it.
And probably aware, knowing that Angus isn't going to
Yeah.
miss it a second time, so... So probably just going to clip off that red ever so lightly, run him back into bulk.
So you and I have a little trip coming up here, Dave Burney.
We do?
Yeah. We might not be traveling together, but we're headed to the same location.
Canada?
A little bit further.
Alaska?
Something called the World Snooker Championship.
That is correct, yes. We will be representing the Pacific West.
The Pacific Northwest.
Hey, Canada's the Pacific Southwest. Let's compromise here. It's the Pacific West.
Okay, all right, let's do it.
I
The
don't know.
Pacific West.
It's,
PW in the house.
you can be PNW, I'll be PSW. Should we get the T-shirts?
No.
Well, a good buddy of mine, Sam Tawney, who's going to be joining us as well. He's trying to look into some Master Grinder T-shirts.
It's very important that we recognize Cliff Thorburn and the 147th year of snooker being in existence.
That is correct. I don't hear it being talked about that
Yeah.
much.
And who was the first player to have a 147 in the World Snooker Championship?
Well, you're just setting me up, of
Who was
course.
that? Who
Cliff
was that?
Thorburn. None other. The grinder himself, and off a fluke.
Yeah,
So,
that's one way of getting him in.
I'm wondering, and I don't know, you have put
Here we go.
the stream out there on Facebook. Pretty sure Cliff is aware of what goes on. Maybe he's listening right now. But I'm not sure if he's going to be over there with him retiring this year, if there's going to be any pageantry for him.
There should be.
Yeah, at least a statue of some sort.
Yeah, at least a life-size statue in front of the crucible. I gave the points to the wrong person. Boop.
See, it can be tricky, scorekeeping and commentating. That's why, we need a lot of good people to help out behind the scenes.
It's actually not. There's like circles with colors that tell you exactly what ball. Yeah, little plus and minus.
But sometimes you can get focused on talking about the match in front of you, and just sometimes the score forgets a little bit. And this guy Sam is talking about California as the Pacific Southwest. Well, in Canada, where I'm from, British
Thank you,
Columbia,
Sam.
if you look at the geography of
goodness.
Canada, British Columbia, Vancouver, British Columbia, it's Pacific Southwest there. So definitely California in America, it's Pacific Southwest.
I am very. I didn't realize I was very U.S. centric. I think most U.S. citizens are U.S. centric, but I thought I was above that, and until I talked to you about the Pacific Northwest and the Pacific Southwest, kind of felt a little silly. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess you guys exist and do have a Pacific Southwest. Our North is not yours.
And what happens if we bring the Americas into it? Is Chile Pacific Southwest?
Chile is Pacific. Yeah, no, come on, that's
Yeah.
too big.
Too big of an
countries
area?
at a time. That's too big of a region. So that black ball in the middle of the table. Whenever I'm in a match and I see that black ball in the middle of the table, I'm always very careful not to leave a red on because it can get ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And is he going for it? He didn't quite get there.
But taking this pink and continue the run. And thanks, Darren. Talking about his dad, the great David Taylor, was in a match with Bill Werbenick, and on the other tables when Cliff made his 147. Thanks for that little fact there, Darren. Much appreciated. And you talk about a character, that Bill Werbenick, quite a character. You know, unfortunately had a little shaky arm that was affecting his cue action, and so kind of found out that lager was the best way to calm the nerves and actually trying to get it written off for his income tax in the British government.
Is it true that he got a doctor's note
He might have something like that.
to be able to drink?
And then, unfortunately, I think he had some... Darren, you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he had beta blockers to help him with this ailment.
Those yellow sunglasses?
No, this is pills. And then they were on the ban list, and then he got suspended. So, and kind of hurt his career a little bit because. But as a good friend up in Canada, Rob Johnston was a good friend with Bill, and said Bill was just a dynamite guy, just always jovial, always laughing, liked to be the life of the party, liked having lots of fun. So he might not have had a long life, but it sounded like he lived a good life. There's actually a gentleman in Canada that's, I hope I'm not jinxing him, but he is working on a little documentary on Bill Werbenick, the man that drank Canada dry. So hopefully that will be coming out soon, but, with that pandemic, that could have put a halt on a few productions.
Varun is in a potting mode.
Yeah, there's no halt here. And Christian's definitely got to be...
He's got his track shoes on. He's good.
That's good. Yes, underneath, I do see the earbuds that Varun has in his ear. Not sure if he's listening to anything or just kind of wanting to maybe block out. I don't. Do you have any kind of rulings on that? I know up in the BC Open we were frowned upon earbuds and music and all that kind of stuff.
No, there's nothing written. No.
Okay. So, but hey, it's a learning thing. It doesn't seem to.
I'm not sure it's any, unless he's a robot and he's getting instructions from the higher up. I just don't. I think there's an etiquette to snooker that this might be frowned upon. That was a nice plant. But honestly, I don't know what the advantage would be or disadvantage. We can talk about it with the rest of the players. Get their idea. Maybe somebody in the chat can give us their opinion about people wearing earbuds.
Yeah, I think I kind of. It's almost like if a player's wearing a tracksuit and stuff like that. It just goes against the formal wear. I feel personally. I think I don't think he should be wearing them. Because you say, who knows? What if he's rigged up to a two-way transistor or something like that, and his buddy's watching the stream, and you have the overhead view. We can call shots.
Maybe
all
he's
the
just
time
listening
here.
to us.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, I agree, Darren. I'd love to see more Canadians on the scene. So hopefully we're doing a good job there. Hopefully we're getting people exposed. And with these streams, I think more and more youngsters are at least able to see what the game of snooker is all about. And then they can make the decision if they would like to get involved. So time will tell. And maybe someday we can have the first American
on the tour.
On the pro tour.
I'd say we'll do it in 15 years.
Okay.
That's our goal. Unless there's a prodigy out there that wants to get in on the chat, we're going to have to build them up from scratch.
All right. I'll maybe bet you something, but we'll talk about the details off the stream. Not too many players coming through up in the BC area. Actually, if you want to chat a little bit with Vineet, he's up on the stream, and he's got a youngster that is very keen. The tough part is, there's not a lot of youngsters right now that are in there, because I know Vineet is always bugging me about when we get junior tournaments and junior programs, and it's just we don't have the amount of youngsters wanting to get involved. So hopefully more and more, and I guess Mike, not you and I together, but maybe separately, have children, and then we influence some snooker on them.
My kids are too old.
Yeah, and you're not my type. I'm sorry.
I can change. Don't leave me, Bernie. Uh-oh, where's the cue ball going? All right, what am I missing here?
See, it's a little difficult. You got this match a little closer than it is, as we see on the scoreboard in the room, which is the correct one. It's 50-17 for Varun. So, what were you saying about it's easy to commentate and keep score at the same time there, Mike?
No,
and tournament direct and
I was saying that the program is easy. The operator, no, I need help. Human error. Varun has a great way of snookering people, as well as making pots. I mean, obviously that's why he's in the semifinals. But he just plays so fast and is very accurate, and it's just watching him play snooker is crazy. And then when I watch him play 9-ball, I wonder how he ever misses. Just seeing what he can do on the snooker table.
it's not a bad idea there. Darren is mentioning to get the Americans into it, of making the pots a bit more generous. What size are these pockets that you have here? It looks like they're 2 1/4 almost.
They're 3.34. Yeah, they're the pro cut.
So good to have, but I think when you get the youngsters in, you want to maybe have a table that has a few larger pockets, so then they can build up their confidence and see the fun of it. Because if they're not making pots, obviously the game is called snooker. It's not called pot balls. But when we're making big breaks, it's quite glamorous to see.
That's a nice snooker right there. I think Angus should be able to get out of it. Separate the two. Is it going to go far enough? Nope. I think it's actually potable.
Definitely is, and this would take us to
a little thin. Sam in the chat brings up a really good point in the noise canceling aspect of those earbuds.
But really, Mike, I'd have to say, you don't really have a loud room. Like, back up in Richmond, where I throw a lot of events, and, what Jonathan does is fantastic, and sometimes you have to do a lot of things to be successful these days. You can't just rely right on tables. So he's rented out a couple of rooms with Mahjong.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone doesn't know what Mahjong is, when you hear them dealing these tiles, it almost seems like a Haitian voodoo torture or something like that. So, but the good players definitely could be able to block it out.
We're off again on the score. I say the royal we.
And there's a concession there by Angus. So Varun taking a commanding 2-0 lead in the semi-final. We'll just take a little flip over to table 2. See what's happening on our other semi-final match as referee Christian Youngers sets up for frame 3, and think this is still in frame 1 over here, and obviously, as we can tell, with the pink and the black on, it's getting down to the nitty-gritty.
Oh, that was it.
That was it, and there we are.
Whatever
So
the score is, CC took it.
true, yeah. It could have been 101-1. It could have been 2-1, but definitely in the frame line, it is 1-0 for CC in the other semifinal. Darren Mike just had to step away. One of the players and a great helper of the tournament, Manek Rana, is going to be on his way out. So he's just doing the polite tournament director thing of the thank yous and the handshakes. And obviously, players are always eager. As soon as one tournament is done, they're always, when's the next one? So I'll pass that idea, obviously, off to Mike. But hey, we should include, Western Canada, the Pacific Southwest, to being involved in this Arizona, Washington. Maybe we can get some other states in there, maybe Oregon, as we did have a player from Portland. But here's Angus to break off frame 3. It's back against it. He needs to dig in if he wants a chance of making the finals. So, Mike, while you're away, Darren's proposing this idea of Arizona versus Washington.
Bring it.
Wildcats versus Huskies.
Bring it. That's all I got to say.
Okay,
Yeah, Darren. Yeah, I would be really interested in that. And if we can maybe do a little coaching clinic if we are in Arizona, maybe with you. I know that you have a world of knowledge, and you just did a coaching class over at Rumil's. So, yeah, it would be, I would take that. We'll do a little border battle, several border battles between Washington and Arizona.
Hey, it could almost be a Pacific Northwest and a Pacific Southwest battle.
It's true.
Just get rid of California.
Yeah,
Right.
if you're sick of the sun, Arizonians, just come on up to Washington.
Exactly. If you're sick of the gray clouds,
Yeah.
Washingtonians, go down to Arizona.
It's always 60 degrees in a snooker hall.
Perfect
Well,
temperature.
Yeah, maybe around there.
Well, I hope I can put a little clause into this Arizona-Washington battle, a little maybe Canadian content.
Yeah,
I'll loan my voice to your
Absolutely.
battle, guys.
you're the best in the biz. We'll
Oh.
take you.
You're making me blush. How much do I owe you now?
So Angus has some work to do. The reds are spread out, which is kind of dangerous if you're playing Varun.
Yeah, as a player, Mike, what are you feeling in this? You're 2 down with 3 to go. Back's up against it. What are you feeling here?
If I'm me, I'm terrified. Oh, no. He might be feeling the pressure. That's something I would do. But if I'm Angus, I would feel confident that at any moment I could turn the game around, and it's only a race to 3. 2-1 is a different story, because you just need one more to go to a decider, and then from that point it's just one game. Varun can't be doing that. Did he leave him anything? No, nothing easy.
No, yeah. It's right into the left middle pocket. Or left, yeah. Might be alright for Angus.
This might be the start of a Varun break. So close.
Commentator's curse right there.
It was it. Well, I do have $1 on Angus. Is he going to get around it? Oh, nice little cannon to get out of the pack. I'm watching too much.
That's why we're always looking for great volunteers or just great people to help out. Scorekeeping, refereeing, commentating. We'll always have the players. Everybody wants to play. I've yet to see a sport where they're like, we need players. We have too many referees.
We have too many referees.
No one's ever said that in the history of sport. Ooh,
The thing about referees is they have to watch every shot. A player only has to concentrate when they're at the table. Whoa, what did I do there? But the ref, whoa, the ref has to really be on their feet, figuratively and physically, the entire match. So,
as Christian has taken a seat right beside me.
what's going on here, Christian?
But yeah, he's been working hard as the streaming producer, so
yeah.
Definitely, yeah. The referees in this sport definitely never have a break. You know, the players obviously when they're done their run or if they've missed a shot, they can retire to their seat, sit down, stew, think about that missed shot, or just try and flush it out. Whereas a referee has to be focused on every shot in the frame.
What's he looking at here? Trying to use the blue ball, which I did, to block an easy-ish pot on the right corner.
Easy-ish.
Easy-ish.
You think you are Marissa Dew or Neil Robertson? That's a long pot. So, good retort there by Varun.
So what? The bottom left red. Hold it. Oh my goodness. It's a race.
It is, and that's not looking good there for Angus. Well, unfortunately, David Brock lives in the UK, but I'm like, you got to tell Varun to join CC and Agnes when next time they come up to Canada.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of strong players down here that, for one reason or the other, just haven't made the trip, and we should bring more people up there because it's a great snooker scene up in Canada. It was crazy the first time I went. We went to the little arcade next to the hotel, and there were 2 snooker tables next to a bunch of air hockey and video games. It was just insane. What's going on here? So Varun should have 5. And Angus should have 13.
Did you hear that? like someone brought an animal in here or something. Because that's why the earbuds are in Varun.
Throughout this weekend, we've had signs out that say spectators are welcome, Facebook posts about that, and so we've had a few people in here off and on, not knowing what the heck snooker is, and they sit down and watch and very interested, and so hopefully after this weekend we'll get a new crowd of people in trying this game out. Almost got that hook. Another pool term.
You and these pool terms, who knows?
It does upset snooker players when I use pool terms for snooker terms.
Yeah, I had a nice conversation with one of the players here, Cole Peterson. And, I didn't put him up to this at all or anything, but he was telling me in the break we had a little afternoon, he's like, hey, you know what, you're fantastic on that mic. My girlfriend was listening to you, and she's really taken interest into this game now. I think she's going to now come to the room with me a bit more. Maybe we can get her playing. I'm like, well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So...
It's a nice twofer right there for Varun.
I don't think that's a snooker or a pool term.
No, I don't think so either. I'm going to put this on mute for just 1 second.
Well, someone's ears were burning, as Mike was talking about, that they've put it out there for spectators to come down and watch. We had a little doorbell ring, and looks like we could have some visitors coming in to watch. So that's always good to see. Hopefully they're respectful. They know a little bit about the game and treat the players with respect on the table. It's a nice long pot there by Varun. And, thank you, David. That's much appreciated. Or Darren. David is your father. But thanks, Darren. Compliments are always nice. And hopefully maybe someday I can make it down to Arizona and pay you a visit there. Yeah, you got to be a jack of all trades. As tournament director, you also have to be a welcoming service as well.
Yeah. I was going to say bouncer, but welcoming service is probably a better term.
Sure, as I remember at Bays, you did actually have to have a bouncer there.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
In that room, that gentleman.
It was, it was a storefront.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Down here we have an intercom system, and a basement and were hard to find.
Yeah, and that's that. This is nice and secluded, and you kind of feel like the outside world is gone down here. Bays was nice because it gave some exposure to snooker as people were walking by. Probably weren't sure what they were seeing, but it did attract people to come in. And do you remember when we had that event? We needed just someone on the door just to make sure there were no riffraff coming in.
Yeah. They were watching on the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm. But however, your border service let me come into the country, so I'm not sure how they're dealing with that riffraff.
Varun is in. That's a nice shot right there.
Yeah, any harder and that would have kicked out.
I wonder if he would have made that, if that white ball would have gone in off. And he's trying to avoid the in off, and I'll take a miss rather than a in off.
Could have done with a little better position there for Angus. Not sure exactly what he was trying there.
Ooh, that almost went in.
Yeah, I played that with an element of safe. Hasn't really left anything on.
Well, he's got something in the middle here. He just saw that paint go in by Varun, so he knows how to shoot on these tables. Right into that middle pocket.
Yeah, he's making these pockets act like vacuums. They're just sucking every ball up in sight.
Might want to try for one of these reds here. If he has the angle. Has it been mentioned that Angus won our Washington State Snooker League?
No, I was
Season 1.
unaware of that.
He was a top point earner.
Well, he definitely knows his way around the table. Was Varun in that league? Because he's definitely playing some dynamite snooker this weekend.
He'll be in Season 2 for sure. But Angus, when I played him, so we played. I already forgot how many matches we would play. We played race to 3. Someone can correct me, but my goodness, he was hitting a 20 break, leaving me nothing. 20 break, leaving me nothing. 20 break, leaving me nothing. Re-rack, game over. It was just... So my match lasted an hour, and typically matches would last about 2 hours, maybe a little bit more. Just an incredible potter.
Got a little break there. Those balls are flying all over the place. Yeah, it's not all about making centuries, you know. If you can make a 20 running high, 20 running high, 20 running high, you got 60 points already, and that's getting pretty close to the mark.
Death by 1,000 cuts. Yeah, the psychology of being on the other end of that, of having a 20 break just kind of piled on top of you, you start to think, okay, do I play safe? Do I try to match him? And yeah, it was fun to watch, I'll tell you that much. Nice pot.
Yeah, I needed to hit that with pace. Did you learn anything from it?
No. No. I learned I need a lot of work on my game. Darren, do you make house calls? So when this frame started, the reds were scattered. It was a dangerous situation. I think Angus has done well to keep it a tight game.
Mm-hmm.
It could have gotten out of hand.
It's a nice little shot there.
Yep.
Well played. We'll put him back there. You've seen this go wrong for a few players over the weekend.
That was a good job by Christian there, putting the cue ball back and that green ball. Oh, nice. Left the hanger though.
Yeah, these are always a little bit... Actually, it's out a little bit, so it's not too bad.
That was a very productive safety or snooker by Angus. We can do something with it here. Jamie's passing notes. She's texting me.
But she's a school teacher, aren't they against that?
Yeah, teacher, I'm going to tell your students that you're passing notes.
Just don't wake them up at nap time. I hear she's a kindergarten teacher. Nap time's very important. Well, he's got the snooker there. Cushion.
once again. Ends up over the pocket.
That's true, and as we've seen so many times in these matches throughout the tournament, it's coming down to the colors.
You know what I'm realizing? Either I have really warm hands or I'm tapping this trackpad too hard.
Are you suggesting that I give you a nickname when I commentate on your match? Mike Warm Hands Dominguez at the table.
It's gross.
You started it, jeez.
We're having a little comfort break.
True. So let's just take a look at our...
Look at Dave Daly re-rack or rack them up. Dave has been a huge help.
All right, now David Brock is taking dead aim at me. Okay. He's down 2-0 to CC.
Oh.
So sorry, Darren, it's not looking good for David Brock, but hey, you know, he can fight his way out of a hole easily. So, two of our semifinals are at 2-0, so we'll just see what can happen here. Actually, both our players on our feature table are just going for a little comfort break and just, you know, going to show a few of our great sponsors that have helped us out. Ox Billiards, that's where we are this weekend. Mike Dominguez, who's in the booth with me right now, is the owner-operator of this fine establishment, and as well CCU, who is in the semifinal, who you've seen him on the stream throughout the weekend. That's his club, Empire Billiards, out there in Renton, and as well the Washington State Snooker League is a proud sponsor of this event. They are getting ready for their second season of it. And Silver Cloud Inns and Hotels providing great comfort for all our players, a warm bed and good comfort all around. And Omaki, they're providing food for our players on day one yesterday, a delicious treats. We really appreciate that. And Malay Satay Hut was the food for today, and we appreciate them very much so. So now coming back as both players have relieved themselves, and yes, I agree, Darren, down from 2-0 is dangerous, but stranger things have happened on a snooker table.
And thanks again to our sponsors. They've fed the players here both days with some really good food. And then they've provided really nice rooms just a couple blocks away, walking distance. This could end up well. Come on.
True, I was kind of surprised that you don't have a mop and bucket here. I saw that food came in and the drool from my mouth was all over the place.
Yeah. Next time we're going to have them sponsor the commentating booth. Oh, wow.
Ooh,
So Angus is doing well on these safety shots.
yeah. I'm up 37-22. He's got this red, but what's he up by? He's up by 14 right now. He may need that tricky brown that's on the cushion that's nice and safe. Kind of a nice little shot there. Kicked at the green to more potable position. Got a good angle on the blue to come down for the yellow. But you gotta make the yellow. So, pendulum hasn't completely switched in Varun's way, is that brown on the cushion up there is going to be quite tricky. These guys definitely like to hit it hard. Racking around the table, that's for sure.
Is the blue ball coming to the rescue?
It's coming more to the rescue. It's putting him in a snooker in a very tricky one, but he's not glued to it, so I think he might have the one cushion escape, just getting above the almost pocket of that too on the opposite side.
And now the pink. Wow. Okay.
That's sometimes frustrating when you play these players that you're just banging the balls around and they just fluke these little snookers. It's
Fluker, you mean?
fluker, yes. I've been informed by Christian.
Oh, that is a brilliant shot. Gotta stay on that cushion. The jaw helped.
I know, we should put it to the masses on the stream. How does everyone feel about the term fluker? So a fluker is a term when you fluke a snooker. Seems like it was invented here at Bays or at Ox.
I think it was invented by Jamie at Bays. Was it during the pandemic? We were just getting delirious. Yeah. Jamie agrees.
Well, let's see what our audience thinks. Who's in favor, yay or nay, of the fluker? Is it a new snooker term? Shall we call up... I'm not sure where the dictionary of snooker terms is located. I'm pretty sure it's in England somewhere, but...
Well, if you go to glossary of snooker terms on oxbilliards.com, you will find the terms fluker in there. Yeah. But I doubt that it'll be adopted. It's an American term in a British sport. How dare we?
Yeah, you're not even part of the Commonwealth. This could be a bit dangerous here for Agnes.
Oh.
Yeah, almost got it. He is going to put him back. Goes out a bit more. Yeah. It's looking a bit more correct. Just from our vantage point, we're looking right down the barrel of this shot here in the commentating booth. That's what happens sometimes when you put them back. They'll take care of business on the second attempt. They'll find out just the minor adjustments, but this is over the yellow pocket for Varun with this yellow ball. Too thin.
I was about to say that, oh, wait a minute.
The pink might have came and helped him. Yeah, Agnes getting down to take, well, he might be able to come off that ball cushion. Oh, didn't need the ball cushion.
Well, he hit the green safe.
Yeah, 12 in it and 27 on, so...
Unless he screws back for a double.
He might be listening to something, because I just saw him touch his earbud a little bit and then went over to his chair, so... He was kind of cooling off at the wrong time. For him, when he would have slapped that into the back of the pocket. Nice shot there by Agnes.
Another roll would have been good. But I think Angus is looking for a mistake by Varun. He's been capitalizing on a lot of his safety plays in snookers this frame. He's gotten lucky. But he's taken advantage of it. Here we go.
Yeah, that is the key sometimes. You know, you want to force your opponent to make a mistake, and then you got to capitalize on it.
Oh, no.
Oh. Treacherous. Both balls coming up, and look where that white has landed too. This is a big swing here.
I think I double tapped.
Still, you are right, Mike. That green is in a safe position there. Yeah, you might have the double on, actually. Wasn't able to make it, but safe. And another foul by Agnes. Walks away from the table. He just looks up to the heavens. Very calm, but I think inside he's screaming, why? Yeah, you don't want to give Varun the opportunity. Because now he's catapulted to a 1-point lead with that green. Still, it's anyone's frame, but Varun can be a little bit more risk-taking, as he's got a 2-frame advantage in this best of 5. Just needs one more frame to punch his card into the final of the inaugural Seattle Snooker Open. Yep, 43-18, 43-38, not 18. Oh, did he try to cut that in? Right then, needs a big bounce for Varun and a little bounce for Agnes, but Angus be able to just stick that cue ball right where the blue is. Have that blue go around, and could have a hook right here.
Not quite.
I think there's a cap there for Varun. Might even be able to get on the left side of the blue, maybe potentially putting for a long double. This has potential. This has potential.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
what
my
a shot.
goodness.
Jeez Louise. But that's what he does. He makes these shots right when you think he's out of it.
Yeah. This to punch his card into the final of the Seattle Snooker Open 2022. Nope.
Where is it ending up?
Agnes Lee lives to breathe another day. That's actually he's got to be shaking his head there because he left that on quite nicely. But this black is no gimme after the pink.
Mm. You know, you hope when you miss, it doesn't end up there.
Yeah, when you're missing, you hope to miss well, not miss bad, and
Yeah,
that was a
put it
miss
on the
bad.
cushion.
So that'll do it.
Well done.
Varun with the whitewash. Handshakes are having. Here we go. So Varun Junja has punched his way into the final of the Seattle Snooker Open. Mike Dominguez, it's been great having you at booth. Thanks for all that you've done all weekend long. You've looked like a seasoned pro running this first tournament here, and I think the U.S. Nationals is going to be a great event come early September. I'm already punched it into my calendar, looking forward to coming down. We're going to keep the stream running because we'll just switch over to our other camera so our viewers can take a look at what's going on with the CCU David Brock other semifinal, and maybe about depending on how that match goes. I know CC is up 2-0. It might be maybe a 7:30 final, possibly. But for all you David Brock fans, probably you want a later final. So we'll switch over to the camera, and we'll be back soon with the final.
Alrighty, folks, we're just going to take a few minutes to get ready for the final here. And we'll be restarting the stream, so go ahead and refresh all your browsers, etc., and check out the Facebook page for the new stream. It'll be labeled as the finals. See you in a bit.